Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Elyse and this is the first video in my Back to Basics series where I break down a full face of makeup so that you can master your makeup routine. So if you want to see how I got this full look, make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on a single video from this series. Let's get right into it. Starting with a clean slate, fresh face. You want to make sure it's washed and moisturized. It's very important to making sure that your foundation sits well on your skin. And before we even get into the application and applying the foundation, we're going to figure out what kind of foundation you want, because there are so many things on the market now, and I'm only going to show you things that are from the drugstore, because you know what? The drugstore is coming out with some bomb products, okay? So you don't need to spend a lot of money to get a good foundation. So the first step in determining what kind of foundation you're going to start using is, what is your skin like? Is it dry? Is it oily? Is it a combination? Are you acne prone? So for the dry girls, you're going to want to go with something that has a luminous finish. What this means is the foundation has light reflecting particles in it that's going to be hydrating on the skin, and it's going to bounce the light and give it a glowy look, so that throughout the day as your foundation wears, it's going to continue to give your skin a hydrated look. My favorite drugstore foundation for dry skin, this is one that I actually use almost every single day now, is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. Now if you're normal to combination skin, your skin doesn't really change throughout the day regardless of if you're wearing makeup or not, or you've got a little bit of dry spots and a little bit of oily spots, so that you kind of have to work with both. The Maybelline Fit Me foundations in matte and poreless are phenomenal. It's not going to leave you looking overly glowy or overly dry. This is a really great in-between for a natural finish. So for my oily skin girls, you're going to want to be looking for a foundation that either is a matte finish or says it's a long wear foundation. And you don't have to, but I find that those work the best for oily skin. So my favorite from the drugstore, I actually have two here, is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. This one is really, really good. It's a super full coverage foundation. It's got a really nice natural finish that is long wearing. And another one which is really great is the Maybelline Superstay foundation. This is a 24-hour wear foundation. I have not worn it for 24 hours. I do not recommend wearing your foundation for 24 hours, so I can attest to that, but it is a really, really good long-wearing foundation at a drugstore price. So now we've kind of worked out what your skin type is and what kind of foundation is going to work best for it. You're going to want to figure out your application technique. There are two ways that I recommend applying your foundation. First one is with a sponge. This is the Real Techniques sponge, and it is a drugstore product, so you can get it from the drugstore. I believe it's $9 at Walmart. This is a really great application if you are short on time, you want a lighter coverage foundation or a lighter coverage from your foundation, because especially this one, I don't know if you can see, it's got a really nice flat edge, which works to covering a lot of ground. So we're going to do this on one half of my face. The second technique that you can use is a brush. You're going to want to work with a dense brush. Mine is dirty. Awesome. You're going to want to be using a dense buffing brush for this. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Real Techniques, the same brand as this one, makes a really great foundation buffing brush, which I will link in the description box. And the difference between using a brush and a sponge is it is going to take a little bit more time to use to buff out your foundation, but it's going to give you a fuller coverage. So we're going to do that on this side of my face. I'm going in with the L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation because this is my go-to every day. And we're going to start, I do one pump for each side of my face. Sometimes a little bit more. I'm going to start with the sponge. So you can either apply it directly to your sponge or you could apply it directly to your face. I'm actually going to apply it directly to my face because I find that the sponge can soak up some product. Also, make sure you wet your sponge. This is the key. You're going to run it under water, squeeze it a couple times so that it expands. This thing starts about this big and grows to here. And then you're going to wring it out. I usually put it in a paper towel and squeeze out as much excess water as I can. So I'm going to start by applying this all over. I'm just gonna apply it to one side. I usually do just my cheek area with one, my other cheek with the other, and then I take the excess and buff it on my forehead because I've got bangs. It feels like a waste of my foundation if I'm using it under my bangs. And then, using your sponge, you're just going to pounce it all over your skin. And that's one side blended out. Really quick, really fast. That's with the sponge. It is a very light coverage, So this is great for the busy moms who are on the go, or the busy ladies who don't have a lot of time. You can just throw it on, use your sponge, get it all over, and then you're good to go. So that's one pump. The important thing, you don't want to miss this, is you want to make sure you're bringing it down your neck. Doesn't matter how much product you have on your thing, as long as it's being brought down. Because you do not want to be stuck with a line where you haven't blended it out. You're going to blend it back into your ears, into your hairline. You can wipe your hairline away, but you don't want a white line. Okay, now for the other side, I'm going to show you with a brush. And for this, I actually just pump it onto the brush and then work my way around on my face. So one pump on the brush, just like that. And I will start by swiping it in the areas that I need it most, so I get the most redness around in my cheek area. And then I will start pouncing it as well, pushing the product into my skin. And what this is going to do is it's going to really make sure that the product is not sitting on top of the skin and that it's getting the most coverage out of it. So I'll push it, and then once I've done that, I'll buff it in everywhere else. And then just taking what's left, buffing that on my forehead. And that's where I leave my foundation. I'm the kind of person that believes that less is more. It's easier for you to go in with a thin layer of foundation, cancel out any of the major redness in your face, and then later on go in with concealer and go in and spot conceal. If you want the most natural looking foundation, you're gonna wanna use a light hand. The more foundation you put on your skin, the less skin-like it's gonna look. Doesn't matter what kind of foundation you're using, it's product that's being put on your face. That is your foundation 101. I'm gonna go finish my face and I'll be right back. That was the first step of our full face of makeup. So make sure you check out the next video so that you can see how to complete this look. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. There's gonna be an entire series breaking down a full face of makeup and you don't wanna miss a single video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.